What is shakin', Internet? This is Saltz bringing you some more How to Tank LFR for Dummies. Wait, never mind. This is not How to Tank LFR for Dummies. This is actually How to Tank Normal for Dummies. This will be the first in the normal series since I will be probably skipping normal Morchok. This will be how to tank Zon'ozz, aka the ping pong boss, in normal. I'm going to go ahead and start with the trash here. One thing that I did notice, and I actually asked about this on the forums and tried to figure it out. Basically, as far as tanking goes, there is absolutely nothing to do with this trash. The only important thing that you need to know about this trash is that the only thing that needs to be tanked is the big claw. DPS does need to do it in the right order, so DPS does need to kill the eye, and then all the flails, and then the claw. But the only thing that actually can be tanked is the claw. Now this is not to say it's 100% accurate though. I haven't quite understood, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about each of the things real quick. So the eye does a bunch of damage and a bunch of abilities and all that good stuff, and it focuses on random members. Great. You can't tank it whatsoever, so the eye should be completely ignored as far as tanking goes. The flails are a little bit tricky. This is my understanding of them. Please comment if you know anything better, because I cannot get a solid answer from anybody. But basically, this is what I think the flails do. The flails target random party members, and they do damage to them. If there's nobody in melee range of the flail, so if somebody's not standing right next to the flail or within 5 yards or whatever, they will target a random raid member and drop this black blood stuff on them. And basically, it's like this ooze or this little pile of dark clouds that does massive damage, and you have to move out of them. So you can move out of them; it's not a big deal. But basically, what's better is if one person just is in melee range of each flail, which there's 3 flails in each trash group. So if a melee person is standing in each of the flail's things, then you won't ever get the little black blood stuff. As far as tanks go, I mean, one tank could run over and then tank one of the flails, so that the flail is then attacking him, and you're in melee range of the flail, so it's not doing the black blood stuff. The claw needs to be tanked, because if the claw is not tanked, I know it throws people around. Like it randomly grabs people, it pulls them close, and then it throws them like this major throw. You'll know it as soon as you figure it out and see it. But what I don't understand is when it does the flail. I thought if you were tanking it, it would not do it. But however, it seems that you need at least 2 people within melee range of the claw so that it doesn't throw. But even then, I've had 2 people close, and it still looks like it throws people. So I'm really not certain as to why this is happening. I don't understand, but basically, the simple point I'm trying to make here is, for each of these trash mobs, which it's not really important anyway, but for each of these trash mobs, the claw is the only thing that tanks really should focus on. Just both main and off tank, go over to the claw, whatever. Actually, what you should be doing right now is main tank should be getting ready for tanking, and off tank should be switching to DPS. Unfortunately, Zon'ozz is a 1-tank fight. There is no need for a second tank, unless you can do better DPS in your tank gear than your DPS gear, but you need DPS gear, so deal with it. So yeah, it is a 1-tank fight. Don't worry about it. Off tank, get your DPS gear ready and go for it. I'm going to be switching to Boomkin for this, just to show you, and then I'll show you kind of what the range DPS. I think it's a better view of the fight, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the range DPS Boomkin of this fight. Either way, we're going to finish up this trash mob here, and then we're going to go to the main boss. Unfortunately, in LFR, it's extremely easy. In LFR, you have the ping pong mechanic, which I explained and showed in my other video, and the off tank can simply run over there and get hit by the ping pong all by himself up to 10, and it doesn't, it's like whatever, you don't have to deal with it at all. The off tank's just going to handle it. In the real fight, however, there's going to go ahead and be ping pong mechanic. I'm going to go ahead and show you the ping pong mechanic, because it's really the only mechanic of the fight. If you're the main tank, and if you are lucky enough to be tanking this fight, basically all you need to do is okay, I'll explain it. So we're going to go ahead and do this real quick. But so main tank, first thing you're going to do is you can see the boss. So you're going to go ahead and see Zon'ozz, and you're going to grab threat immediately. Now, for the first 5 seconds or so of the fight, he's going to be facing you and attacking just normal. Um, then he's going to do the Void of or Calling of the Void of Unmaking. I don't remember what the actual ability is called, but basically what's going to happen is he's going to uh, create the Void of Unmaking, aka the ping pong ball, in front of him. So wherever he's facing at that time, he will create the void in front of him. So, for example, I'm going to show you this. In front of us, you see the yellow marker, which is right on the boss. That's where everybody's going to stack. Oh, dang it, I moved it. The blue marker, which is really far away from the boss, that's where all the ranged is going to stand. So all the ranged is going to stand at blue, although melee is going to stand at yellow. So at the beginning of the fight, the tank will run over and attack the boss and taunt him and stand on yellow. You want the tank to be standing on yellow. And once the tank's standing on yellow, you stay there. You make him face towards the blue marker. You always want to make him face towards the blue marker. Hopefully your raid leader will set up these markers so you can see. But basically you want to face him towards the blue marker. He's going to do the Void of Unmaking. As soon as he starts casting the Void of Unmaking, run behind him. What this is going to do is it's going to create the Void of Unmaking. It's going to go towards the blue. So the ping pong ball will start and go towards the blue. Then it will bounce off of him and go towards the yellow. As soon as he starts casting it right here, so he started casting it, and the tank turns him around. The reason you have to turn him around is that you want him facing away from the raid. He does a conal attack in front of him, which is bad. It does a lot of damage to a lot of people in front of him. So all the range is going to move over here, and that wasn't really great, but basically you want all the range to stack up so that the ball's going to bounce back and forth and back and forth. Depending on how good your team is, you're going to have to decide how many times you want it to bounce. But basically what the best way to do this is to see if you can make it bounce 7 times. 7 times is the first one, and that's great. So here we have 6. We're going to run over a little bit. Range gets hit by 7, and it goes back. As soon as he gets to the point where it's saying, hey, I want to do this, all the melee is going to have to move out of the way. Melee needs to get out of the way, and that's pretty much it. Then everybody stacks up on melee. So everybody's going to run up here in the yellow and stack up and fight the boss. It's plain and simple. That's it. There's nothing else to tank on this fight. It's a rinse and repeat from this point on. But I'm going to go ahead and show you, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about it again. So the ping pong mechanic is very simple. So he's going to create that void of the Unmaking in front of him. The tank is going to immediately turn him around and face him away from the raid. You don't want him facing the raid because he's going to do that conal attack. So right here you see him, the tank is making him face towards the blue, which is exactly what you want to do. And as soon, boom, there you go. As soon as the void's down, you want him to turn around, and that's what the tank did there. So that's what you want to do as a tank. You want to make it face towards the ranged group, or where the ranged group is supposed to be, aka blue marker in my stead. Then you face him away, and that's all you do. You face him away. Now, as a tank, you need to. It's really hard, but you have to look past the boss. You have to move your camera around so you can see past the boss, and watch the ball bounce. See, as you can see here, the ball is slowly starting to move away from the blue marker and going to bounce back and forth. Then right here, the tank's going to grab him and then pull him over. Boom. So once you reach the allotted stacks, so we do 7 stacks, then 5 stacks, then 5 stacks, and he's dead by then. Once you reach the allotted stacks, let's say it's 7. So you reach 7. What you want to do is the melee has to move out of the way. Then, as the tank, you have to guide the boss over to where the boss gets hit by the ping pong. Once the boss gets hit by the ping pong, he absorbs it in, and then everything does more damage to him, and it's really good, and he does this little black phase. You can't wait until 10 because every time it bounces is going to do more damage to you. The raid's going to have to decide on this. I think 755 is the best. Maybe 555 can be done if you have good DPS, but you need to be careful. So that's pretty much it. As far as tanking goes, face him towards ranged. As soon as he drops that ball, turn him around. Once you turn him around, then you just sit there and wait until the appropriate stacks. Then you make sure the ball hits him. There you go. See, boss gets turned around, ball's down, boom, bounce. And I mean, as far as tanking goes, you just have to be lucky. You just have to hope that your melee and ranged can move towards where the ball's supposed to be, and your healers can keep up with the damage. That's pretty much it. So there you go. It's 4. It's going to come back here. It's going to come back here. We're going to hit it. 5. And it goes back. And then, as you can see here, the melee's running off to one side, just getting out of the way completely. And there you go. Boss grabs it, and we all move in. And this is the end of the boss. It's very rinse repeat. He has no abilities other than summon the void, and he does some conal attacks. But that's, I mean, there's nothing that you need to watch out for. Defensive cooldowns should be used during this Black Blood phase, especially if you have the tier 13 4-set bonus that, you know, it's like, oh, shield wall everybody or frenzied regeneration everybody. You know what I'm talking about, where you get full damage reduction across the raid. That's what you want to use around Black Blood. That's the time where all the damage is going to be coming in. But other than that, that's pretty much it. There's really not much else to this boss, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. Rinse, repeat. If you can make it past one phase, you can make it past all the phases. So, as far as tanking goes, anyway. So hopefully you've enjoyed this, and hopefully I can get some more of these guides out soon. That is the first normal guide that I'm going to go ahead and put out, and I will be hopefully moving on to Yorsaj the Unsleeping, or Yorsaj the whatever, next. But either way, hope you've enjoyed this, and as always, you keep it salty, Internet.